Previously on Comic Showcase, I woke up in a strange reality where my old reviewer friend Daffy had a successful show on the internet that took off like wildfire. In fact, he became the boss of the entire reviewer community, and thus was my boss. Whatever. Why he hasn't used that power for awesome purposes confused me. You'd think he'd take over a micronation or something. Sorry, I'm rambling, and I'm probably still a little confused. Anyway, I reviewed Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #1 and found it to be a decent look at what Spidey could have been had he remained married to Mary Jane. I admit, it broke my heart a bit. Maybe Marvel is testing the waters for a reunion. That's probably wishful thinking. Who knows? Time will tell. In the meantime, I still need to figure out how I'm gonna get home. An alternate version of the last Angry Geek said that this thing should be able to get me back to my home reality. Let's see if it works. And carry the 1. Excellent! I have managed to switch places with Seafarer. My revenge will soon be at hand. Hey, wait. This isn't my evil lair. I'm talking to a webcam and there's a bed behind me. What kind of a dark overlord shows his bed? This is a dark day for mad science. Well, that happened. Let's see if there's a new tale of Battleworld I can check out to pass the time. A-Force #1, huh? Alright, let's check it out and, let's pretend that what just happened ever occurred. Ladies of Battleworld, are you tired of being in a super team where your male teammates treat you like a piece of meat? Are you sick of the villain of the week kidnapping you and forcing you into those tired damsel in distress cliches? Have you had enough of dying and coming back as a cosmic goddess of some kind? Are you also tired of being a distaff counterpart to a male hero? If you are any of these things, head on down to Arcadia, where a team of heroines led by the sensational She-Hulk will be more than happy to induct you into A-Force, the only all-female team on Battleworld. If you haven't figured it out by now, A-Force is an all-female super team led by She-Hulk. From the looks of things, we have pretty much every heroine in the Marvel Universe on this roster. I see She-Hulk, Spider-Woman, Medusa, Rogue, Dazzler, and more on this team.
Well, technically it's Nightcrawler, but mainly for this panel.
I still think Tiger has a thing for her and her roller skates. Today's comic comes from the creative minds of writers G. Willow Wilson, the creator of the current Miss Marvel, Margaret Bennett, and artist Jorge Molina. While this comic has an all-female cast of Avengers, it also introduces a new cosmic-powered character named Singularity, who Wilson describes as being very Q-like. When it came to creating the comic, editor Daniel Ketchum mandated that the book should have an all-female cast, and gave the writers complete control over which characters to use. Of course, this opened up the floodgate as to which heroines to pick for the team. That's not an easy task when you consider how many iconic heroines there have been in the Marvel Universe. I barely scratched the surface with my name dropping earlier. There are a ton of iconic Marvel heroines out there, and most of them are in this book. Some I wish weren't left out. Can't win them all, I guess. A-Force takes place on Battleworld, which, if you remember from my Spider-Man Renew Your Vows review, is a world made up of segments of different realities, since Dr. Doom saved all of reality at the last possible second in Secret Wars #1. In the reality A-Force lived in, the Avengers disbanded, and the heroines of that world now protected, and have an island headquarters of their own, called Arcadia. Though the island is a feminist dream according to Wilson, she decided that the book should focus on a core group of heroines from different backgrounds and abilities who could play off each other's strengths and weaknesses. Wilson also wanted to see if this group with its odd dynamic can succeed even though the characters are different and are similar only in gender. In fact, they've all come together to answer a couple big questions. What would you sacrifice to succeed? And what is being a hero worth? Is A-Force a force to be reckoned with? Let's find out. God, that joke was horrible. What isn't horrible is this cover. It's pretty sweet as it shows She-Hulk front and center with Medusa of the Inhumans and a sparkly cosmic lady, who I assume is Singularity, flanking her. Around the three is a veritable who's who of heroines, and to list them all would take a while. Looking at the cover, you'd probably think that this book is a cluttered mess. There's no way a book with this many female characters can be any good. I can sort of see where people would be coming from, but the characters are arranged in such a way that the different colors of their suits don't blend into each other, and each woman is given a distinct pose. It's crowded, but at least you can tell who all is on this cover. Let's put all of that to the test as we look inside. Remember, we're focusing on a core group of heroines here. To focus on everyone on the cover would make this the longest video in the history of internet reviews. And I don't think I have time to do that. The guy's got comics of his own to make, you know? Our story begins with Jennifer Walters, aka She-Hulk, starting her day. It's a beautiful day here on this small isolated island, far from what she calls the forbidden domains of Battleworld. She wakes up her Themysciran, Arcadian sisters. Phew, avoided that lawsuit. The group, which includes the female Loki, Dazzler, and Captain Marvel, are preparing to go out on patrol as the Jade Giantess narrates about how peaceful their island is. Well, when you have Dr. Doom running the shots, what do you expect? She-Hulk arrives at HQ, and then we have this fantastic 2-page spread of our heroines flying off on patrol. Hey, wait, Dazzler's flying? Since when can Dazzler fly? Maybe she has a pair of go-go boots that double as rocket boots or something. Anyway, I have to admit that this is a nice panoramic shot of the island. Kudos to Molina for this breathtaking shot. It's like a postcard with heroines flying around in the foreground. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice... Marvel, you're tempting fate, aren't you? First with this Island of the Valkyries thing, and now this. Wait, Island of the Valkyries, huh? That sounds kinda cool. Hang on a second. Like I said, meanwhile at the Hall of Justice, Spider-Woman says to She-Hulk that last night was pretty quiet since there was one break-in. You know all about that, don't you, Jess? Jen checks in on the patrol when, holy crap, is that a megalodon? Yes, a giant prehistoric shark has jumped out of the water and is about to have Carol, Dazzler, Pixie, and 2 other characters for breakfast. So much for the peaceful waters of Arcadia. She-Hulk calls for A-Force to assemble, and Captain Marvel goes after the creature and gives it a nice punch. Sadly, the fish goes after a young heroine named Miss America. Jen orders Dazzler to get the civilians out of danger, and asks Nico what she can do. For those at home wondering who Nico is, she's a member of the Runaways. Check out that book, it's good. Nico in this reality goes by the name of Sister Grimm, and shoots some mystical energy that goes straight through the shark. Jaws over here still hasn't had enough as it heads for the shore. Luckily, our heroines are here to save the day. Nico skewers the beast again, and Dazzler shoots some energy blasts, which cause the creature to fly toward the boardwalk. Ladies, your boss said to keep it away from civilians. Away. America leads the ladies as they fly toward the creature. I still don't get why Dazzler's flying. This is going to bug me the whole review. America lands near the megalodon and she looks mad. She picks up the beast and tosses it like a rag doll while ignoring Dazzler. Looks like Sharky's blasting off again. The shark lands in the Deadlands part of Battleworld where the Marvel zombies hang out, and our heroines are really upset at America about it. Suddenly there's a flash of light, and one of the Thors, Sam Wilson, appears on the scene. Wilson expresses his disappointment in America for violating one of Battleworld's laws. I figured Doom would have tough immigration laws. It's getting to the point where you can't fly a fish across international borders anymore. It's a shame, really. Captain Falthor explains that America violated the sanctity of Doom's borders, breached the shield, and endangered everyone under its protection. She then tells him to take it easy when a flash of white light envelops the brash young lady. I guess we're not going to find out what happened to her as we cut back to the Hall of Justice, and Dr. Strange, Battleworld's sheriff, is talking to Jen about America Chavez. Strange is adamant in saying that the borders are never to be crossed. Jen defends her by saying that she's young and sacrificed her life to save people from Jaws. Strange says that regardless of her intent, she damaged the shield, and must serve time there as the law is the law. Jen doesn't believe the laws are just and storms out of the call. Makes sense considering she is a lawyer. Anyway, Strange still calls for her and says that they are God's law and you cannot bend them to protect your friends. Strange, I like you better when you aren't kissing Doom's butt. I take back what I said about Doom and immigration laws. He's like that one kid who wouldn't let his Transformers toys interact with the Thundercats. We all knew that kid growing up. We all did. Don't deny it. It turns out America was just transported back to headquarters, and Nico is there trying to cheer her up. She says she'll be okay. It's Nico she's worried about. She-Hulk enters and begins to offer her apology when Lady Loki wants to know what happened. Jennifer shares the news, and Loki consoles the young heroine. America tries to be a trooper in this touching scene and tells Nico not to blame herself. Suddenly, more Thors arrive on the scene. Oh sure, they can come and go as they please. All they are hammer-wielding bullies. The Hammer Bros from Mario have more credibility. Sadly, Jennifer reads the verdict. For all the days of her life, she is to be sentenced to the Shield, aka the toy collection where you can't interact with any toys that isn't your own toy line, because God Doom is a jerk. America vanishes, and Nico calls out her name. She takes Lady Loki's hand as smoke fills the chamber. Touching scene. Where were these guys during Spider-Man Renew Your Vows? They could have stopped Legion from killing all those supers. This isn't the end of the story. Far from it. She-Hulk turns to Loki and tries to explain how she pleaded for America's life. Nico wanted more time to say goodbye, and Jen said it was out of her power. This naturally angers Nico, and she storms out, wishing she had some of that power. Medusa explains that Jen has to walk a thin tightrope between what is best for the Arcadians and the iron, non-toy sharing will of Doom. She-Hulk explains that Arcadia is only strong as long as they are united with A-Force as her defender. They have a duty to protect the island, and that is what she intends to do. With newfound determination, she then summons the Submariners. Namor, Namora, and Namorita are summoned to investigate the source of the creature that cost the island their sister. My guess would be the Jurassic Park guys, but that's just me. She-Hulk fears that more monsters might be on their way, and tonight they will learn the truth. The three aquatic heroes are sent on their way, and Medusa disagrees with this plan. She says she governs Arcadia, not the people. If she was Baroness, she would, and she is interrupted by She-Hulk saying, "You are not." Medusa, never get the Hulk's cousin mad at you. Bad things tend to happen when you do. Below the waves, Namora sees something that shocks her, and sadly we're not going to find out what this is in this issue. At a nearby lighthouse, Nico is still upset over the loss of America. She sees a shooting star and thinks that she somehow escaped the shield. With a loud wham, an object crashes into the ground. Nico rushes in and finds Singularity in the middle of a crater as our comic ends. Doom's going to be upset again, I just know it. Let's take a closer look at A-Force number 1. A-Force on its surface may seem to some people like a bid to cash in on feminism by having an all-female superheroine team, because these days some people think diversity for diversity's sake is a good idea. It's not, by the way. I really don't see any attempt to be overly feminist here. To be honest, what I see in this comic is a generally good story involving some of the heavy hitters of the Marvel Universe, who just happen to be female. I also like that the story focuses on some of the lesser-known heroines too, and gives them a much-needed spotlight. And thankfully, we focused on a small number of them. This story has a couple of heartbreaking moments with the loss of America Chavez, and you really feel for Nico in this case since she lost a friend. And the scene before she found Singularity was particularly touching. The scene set the tone for the relationship, and even though we just met the character, I already feel bad that she lost a good friend. It takes a good writer to make you feel for a character you just met in a 20-page comic. Scenes like this just hook a person in, and it's executed really well. In the Ms. Marvel review, I said how Wilson really brings out the humanity in her characters, and she does so again. She-Hulk is clearly torn between what's right and protecting her kingdom from doom. She's a leader who has the weight of the world on her shoulders, as she's the head of Arcadia. How she deals with that is actually really admirable. In fact, you could say that this version of She-Hulk is a lot like the version of her we see in the regular Marvel Universe. A no-nonsense lawyer with a heart of gold. That's the She-Hulk I know and love, so Wilson gets points for keeping her personality in this comic. Of course, if it were me, I'd punch a hole in Doom's faceplate and march right up to the shield and say it's my friend. Sure, America made a mistake. She's just a kid learning about her powers and didn't deserve what happened to her. I don't really know much about America in this comic and in the core Marvel universe, save for the fact that she's a member of the Young Avengers, but that's how I feel. No one deserves to be put in the toy box for punching a giant shark across international borders. That's just me being passionate, because I think Wilson really gets readers invested into the characters she creates. We want to see what happens next, and that's what a good writer is supposed to do. Yes, this book was written for the trades, but I want to see more. What should have been a complete mess, given the sheer volume of characters in the book, works because, again, we focus on a small group, and their dynamic is well executed, despite all these characters coming from different backgrounds running around. She-Hulk is the clear leader, and though Medusa is the queen herself, it's natural for her to be constantly at odds with Jennifer. It's like two cats vying for the number one spot. All Jen seems to want is harmony for her small island. Sadly, harmony came at the cost of one of their own, and as a leader, she has to live with that choice. That's pretty deep stuff, and I hope we see more of it in the months to come. It actually looks like we are going to get more. Once the Secret Wars event wraps up, A-Force is going to be one of the post-Secret Wars titles that continue. That says a lot for a book that's being praised for its use of often overlooked heroines, natural-feeling world, and great characterization. Let's hope the trend continues, and I'll see about checking that book out once the Marvel Universe restores itself. I'm glad A-Force is going to continue. It's got great characters and a great up-and-coming comic creator behind the helm, so check it out. In the meantime, I'm getting an email? Who even knows I'm here? Weird. Let's check it out. Say, hey Farah, how are you? I've been trying to contact everyone in the reviewer community since our world collided with another Earth. I've been working around the clock to fix what happened since reality faded to white. It's all very technobabbly. I know you're a Star Trek fan and would get this, but let's just say that it involves quantum universes and other weird technobabble. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that our last Angry Geek has informed me of the trouble you've been having with his duplicate. We're sorry that you got your hopes up. Included with this email is a time for a special Skype meeting. There, we'll discuss a possible plan of action. I just want to let you know that you're not alone, Chris. You're not the only survivor of our Earth. We're here to help you. Please reply as soon as you can. Hang in there. Louis Lovehog.